Okay, it seems that nobody's coming, so I will start.
Okay.
So, last time we created the controls for the player and
Yep.
one trap, this one. And we need to always when you're making a game, you have to have a list of what to do next. So we'll make a list with everything that we need to do. So first we need to make sure that uh, the player controller works and the animations are smooth. Then we need uh, create a level manager with a win condition. Um, we also want to add an effect when the player is hit by a trap or an enemy. We call this create hit create get hit mechanic. Uh, and then we have tons of enemies and tons of traps to make. But these are the most important uh, things we need to add today. And also, um, let me show you the level how it looks now. We did not add anything on the edge of the level. So if the player falls infinitely. Uh, and also another thing that bothers me is the fact that we have all these colliders in the hierarchy, and I'll create an empty object called traps and add all of these here for just to keep the hierarchy organized. And I recommend if you do this, uh, first set the position of the empty object to 0 on all axes, so that
Okay.
the relative position is equal to the real position of the traps. Okay, so I said we need to add edges to the level, so we go to the tile map, open the palette, and now need to check for uh, edges. So something like this. See? Unfortunately, the tile palette is not very organized. To experiment a little. This one. Okay. Now we have the edge. But the camera is not positioned well. Move it a little. Maybe just zoom out like this. And we want the background to be black around the level. So we'll make some, call it well, edges. Add an empty sprite. Make it black. It's not visible because it's on the wrong layer. The time up is on layer 2, so we make this layer 2. And let's check if this black is the same as the black from the tiles. No, it's not. So we need to go online and need to see what shade this is. Now okay. Okay. One this. Okay. Now we copy this value, the hex. Go back to Unity, color, hexadecimal, and now we have the same. Should be the same, but it isn't. Try again. See. For some reason it's not the same. I believe it's because of the sprite is not completely white. So we need to find the should be here this picture of a square that is completely white. Excuse me, I don't know why it's not the same color. What is it? I'm not sure. Let's try, see. You can copy an object by Control D, pressing Control D.
Does it have probably something to do with floating point?
Can you repeat, please?
I'm just guessing here, but does it have something to do with floating points? Floating point grounding error?
I think it might be
The color.
I think it might be an illusion.
Oh, oh, okay.
need to move the camera a little bit to make the level centered in the middle, something like this. Just in case some resolution might affect the view, we'll make this black background bigger, just in case. And we only need to do this once, because after we finish the first level we can copy paste it. Okay, so let's go back to the notepad. We need to make sure the controls are okay. Jump, the jump force is too low. Make it double. Okay, now since maybe it's too high, I don't know. Also, I feel like the gravity is too low also. So we can do two things. We can increase the mass or increase the gravity. No, I don't like to play with the gravity, so I'll just increase the mass by 50%. Let's look at the animator and at the transitions. There's a little bit of lag between transitions. Okay, let's look at the script. Now that we open this script, we can also create the hit mechanic, get hit mechanic, and after that we will also need to add an UI for to display the player's health. I commented some of the code. Let's first look and try to find why the transition is slow. Here is the transition when we set the parameter of the animator. It's in update. Don't see what the problem is. Let's just create a mechanic. I downloaded the shader from the internet. A shader is basically code that creates visual effects. and it's not in the same language as this one, which is C sharp. And I'm not familiar with the language, but we'll use this to create a white flash for the player when it hits a trap or an enemy. To do this, we create a new material. And add the shader here. One second. Okay, like this, just drag and drop in the project panel. Then we go to the player, look for material, and add the material. And now we can modify a property of the material to make this effect. We need, because it is a process that happens over time, we need to use a coroutine. A coroutine is like an update function that is parallel with the update function. Let's call this get hit. We also have a float time, the duration of the animation. Let's call it animation duration to be clear. And we need the sprite renderer. Material set I believe float, and now let's see the shader. I don't remember the variable. This one, flash amount. So see the player, we can modify this to create the effect. We need a function called lerp. The first value is the starting value, which it's 0. Then the end value is 1, and the last value, it's hard to explain. So basically we go from 0 to 1 in this variable amount of time, basically. So let me comment this. But this will not make it completely white because of this condition here, so we need to make it white at the end. Copy paste this move all this. Okay, and we want to decrease the health at the beginning. For those that do not understand this, two minuses minus means decrease by 1. Okay, and we want this to happen at collision.
I'm a bit confused.
Excuse me.
It will set the flash amount from 0 to 1
Yes,
and
from 0
0 to 100%, but it won't reach 100%, so we have
it
to
won't
call it
reach
again. What's
100%.
that?
It won't reach 100% because of this condition here. And also I wrote this is wrong. This is T.
Ah, okay.
So this happens um, every frame for this amount of time, animation duration, and it goes from look, this is 0 and this is 1. It goes from 0 goes from 0 to 1 in that amount of time. But also we need to go from 1 to 0 back again to the starting value. So we copy paste this,
Hmm.
copy paste this again, but instead of the instead we start from 1 and go to 0, and at the end, because it's not perfectly, the value is not perfect, we need to set it to 1, oh, sorry, to 0. I'm thinking whether we do we do on collision or on trigger. I'm thinking whether we should use collision or trigger or both. I think for flexibility we can use both. Collision. This one is a trigger. This trapper is a trigger. But maybe we want to have collision for other traps or enemies. So how do we do this? Okay, let's do both. So if the collision is a platform, we have the code for the jump mechanic. And now if the collision is an enemy, but also there is a case um, if you enter the get hit coroutine and while you are in the coroutine you get hit again, we need to code for this case. And to do this, we do two things. We create a coroutine variable that is private coroutine. Get hit coroutine, and the bool is hit. By default, is hit is false, and when the player is getting hit, we save the coroutine in this variable like this. You can also assign the coroutine to this variable and also start it at the same time like this. And we need a duration. Let's try 1 second.
Is coroutine sort of like multi-threading?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the technicalities of this.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But imagine this as an update function
Mhm.
that you can start, and happens parallel with this, with the update and the fixed update.
Gotcha.
In which order, I'm not sure how how the hardware works. So we start the coroutine and save it, and also in the coroutine, when it starts, we make is hit true, and when it finishes, we say is hit false. And before we start the coroutine, we check if this is false. If is hit or false, then we just start the coroutine. Else we stop the coroutine, the current coroutine, which is saved in this variable, and then we start the coroutine again. Okay, let's look at the level manager. Need to create it. And add the script. Let's test first if the hit mechanic works. But first, let's create. Let's recreate this for triggers too. On trigger, enter 2D. We just copy paste, but the syntax is different. This. Now we should have this effect on both colliders with physics and triggers. Don't know why it takes so much. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
I don't know why it takes
Yep.
so much time. I actually have a good computer. Let me cancel this. Try again. Maybe it's an infinite loop somewhere. Don't think so. Check the task manager. Yes, seems to be an infinite loop. Okay, I see. I'll have to restart.
Mm, yeah. Sure.
It's because of the coroutine summary. It's an infinite loop. Okay. But before we start the editor again, let's see where the problem is. Somewhere in here, it's an infinite loop.
Does line 112 not call it
Here.
again? Yeah, line 112.
Uh, so if you have a
Or
three,
isn't it is hit equals true?
uh, so if is hit is true, that means that the coroutine is running, and if the coroutine is running, we stop it here because we saved it in this variable, and then we start another coroutine and save it in the variable. I don't think this is the problem because the infinite loop happened at the beginning of the scene, so I I wasn't colliding with anything. So the problem is not here in the collision, must be here in the coroutine logic. Let's see. Let's check the original coroutine. Okay, it's the same. Hmm. Okay. Let's. I don't know. So if there's no collision, why does it enter this coroutine? Let's check the platform just in case is correct. The correct tag. Let's start one more time. and see exactly where this happens. Okay, now it's not in an infinite loop. This full screen. See, it's not interacting with it for some reason. So let's go to the shader and let's open it in Visual Studio. Okay, so the problem is I wrote this wrong. This is the correct name of the variable. So here in set float, now it should work. And I believe with this shader, you can also modify the color if you want to flash to another color. You can use this parameter to set the color. Okay, now it should work without physics, see? But see, the problem is it's too slow. So let's create a, never mind, we just modify this. Instead of 1 second, let's try a quarter of a second. Copy paste. See now. I think it's still too slow. What do you think? Yeah, it's it's a bit too slow. Hmm. But why does it last a second still? See, it's still a second. So here it's not correct. Do you see a problem? I don't see it, but
I think it's the lerp function itself.
the lerp function.
Sorry.
Let me check the original one. Beginning position, end position, and then this t value. But we use not vector lerp, we use math because we are working with a float. So I modified here, and it's still 1 second for some reason. Let's create a variable. Uh, get hit duration. So float. Instead of modifying this every time, let's have a variable. Let's go to the editor. Drop layer and set this to quarter of a second. Try a slower value maybe. Okay, now it's working. Maybe now it's too fast. I'll increase it a little. Okay. So now we created the get hit mechanic. Okay. Create a level manager with win condition. Okay, so now we need to create the win condition, but before we do that, we need something to collect. Hope I have it here and don't have to go download. Yes, we have it here. Remember, when you're working with the pixel art, this parameter filter mode must be point, otherwise the picture is not clear. Seems to be 96 times 96 pixels, so pixels per unit should be the same. Then sprite mode multiple, sprite editor, and we slice this by cell size 96. Okay, so it's not 96, must be 16 then. Yes, it's 16. And now let's create a prefab of a fruit. Let's create a folder. We already have a folder. Let's create a folder inside the prefabs called fruits. Select let's go to the images here, select fruit, the sprite renderer, and a collider, a circle collider, which will be triggered because we don't need physics. And let's call this weapon. Add the sprite, must be the same layer, maybe, no, not the same, one layer lower maybe than the player. Let's see what in which layer it's the trap. It's in layer 1 and the player is in layer 3. Run this above the trap and below the players. So layer 2. Collider is too big. something like this. Also the fruit is kind of small. Let's try 3. And we want an animation. First let's add a tag to this. Put this and an animator. I want to make an animation. To make animations you need to add an animator and then need to create an animator controller in the correct folder, which is animations. Call this fruit animation. And now we will learn another type of animation. Instead of going through sprites, you make this by modifying the scale of the object. Window, animation, create new animation, but first must be in the correct folder. This fruit animation. We need to add a property, transform scale. Scale means how big it is on all 3 axes. Yeah, and we start with this size, and after half a second we want this. Need to press the record button and we'll make it slightly bigger, and then then back to the original size. See this?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I'm sorry, the share screen is in 30 frames per second because
Oh yeah, it's fine.
okay.
I get the point.
Okay. Okay, now we have the animation. Let's make the collider precise. 0.8, no. Let's leave it like this. Okay. Now we need to go to the player. We need to do 2 things. We need to connect the player to the level manager and the level manager to the player. And I think we also want to spawn the player at the beginning of the level instead of having it already in the level. So let's go to assets and import some animations. To import here in window, package manager. These are the standard packages. We need to go here and select my assets, and here you have all the assets that you liked on the Unity asset store. Let's search for particles. Let's look for something 2D. This seems 2D. Let's import this. Import. We'll download in a temporary summer in a temporary folder. Then we can import it to the project. I'm looking for a spawn and death animation. check if we have that animation already. And excuse me 2 minutes, I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. Notice. Okay, let's first look if we have an animation in assets, performance, characters, their character, and let's see. No, there's slide. Here's Spain, crouch. No, we don't have an animation. So we'll use the one we downloaded. Explosions, flower trails. Check this one. It's not visible. Let's see why. And okay, I'm assuming it's because oh, okay, it's visible. Yes, it's visible, but no, we don't need this one. Explosions. What is this? Check this. This one we might use later. Electric, heat, smoke. This one. See? This one is nice. Skull explosion. So this too. Nope. See this one. No, okay, if you can excuse me for 10 minutes, I have to take the dog out. If that's okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
be right back. 10 minutes.
All right.
Never mind. I don't have to do it.
Oh,
You
okay.
still here?
Mm, yep.
Okay. I used to have a nice effect for this.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm looking for an effect for that, and when you pick up the fruits,
Okay.
must be here somewhere. This one, we check this one. Yes. Magic source, magic of this one. No, but this one is not even visible. Why is it not visible? Render. When you make 2D games and you have problems like this, you need to look for order in layer, and the effects should be on top of everything else. But also let's make this on top of everything. Okay, see, works much better. But before we do this, let's revert to uh, the original settings and look if there's a difference in order between each animation. Okay, okay, there is no difference. So we'll use this to spawn and despawn the player, and these are already prefabs, and we want to save them in another folder that is easier to access. Here in the prefabs we'll make a new one called effects. You right click and then go to prefab, unpack this as well so we can save it. Let's see, this one will be for the fruits and this one will be for the spawn, but it's a little bit too big. Maybe let's keep it like this. Call this spawn effect. This one collect effect, and save them here. Now we have a prefab of them, and let's go to where is my level. I deleted it. Create a new empty object, level manager, add the script level manager. So I said that we don't want the player to be already spawned, so we need to save it in prefabs. Let's save the player, delete it from the scene, and let's go to the level manager. We need the player prefab. Call this. Let's call this public game object player prefab. Okay, and at the start of the game we also need the location for the spawn. We'll create an empty object in the scene where we want the player to spawn. Call this spawn position. Okay, move it here, want to spawn here. Okay, then we need to create a vector tree. On location under the start annotate which spawns an object, one player prefab at spawn location, and but this means it has the same. When you spawn this player object, it has the same rotation as the prefab. That's what this means. But you can put anything here, any rotation. If you want to spawn the player with another rotation. Okay, now we need to go to the player. Now we need to connect the player controller to the level manager, and we need to create a variable for this. Public level manager, and when we spawn it, we also save the level manager in this variable here. By you can do it when you spawn it at the same time. You have two options. Let me show you both. So one is you create an empty game object, say you create an empty object like this, then you you spawn the object in this empty object, you save it in this empty object, and then you get the player controller like this, get component player controller, and then you select the variable which is level manager and equal this. This level. Okay, see, this is one way to do it. I prefer the faster way, which is the following. You add get component at the end. The component type is player controller, and then you select the level manager variable, and this should be this script, I believe. Yes, this is okay. So now that we connected the player controller to the level manager, we can create the win condition, and we want to create we need a variable, int variable, number fruits. So let's call it fruit required, and also let's call this correct. Number fruits required, and oh, never mind. Let's just call this. We don't need two variables, just number of fruits. Okay. Let's create a playable scene. something like this, just to test. We also want to create an empty object to uh, save all the fruits, just just to be organized. It's an empty. Oops. Okay. Now we want, because the player is interacting with the fruit, we want the collect animation or the effect to be on the player script. Let's go to player, create a new game object, collect effect, and these are triggers. So we go to on trigger, enter, and check if collision is a fruit. Then we want to spawn. First we want to delete the fruit, so collision game object, sorry, destroy collision game object. And after, but if we destroy it first, then we cannot get its position, so we first save the position. Vector 3 fruit position equal to collision game object transform position, and then, so let me comment this to, for the future. Get position, and then destroy fruit so that collision doesn't happen again. We destroy it immediately. Then spawn effect, instantiate collect effect, at fruit position, standard rotation, and when you spawn effects in both 2D and 3D games, you must make sure that after the effect is done, it is deleted from the scene. And also after this, we have the level manager, decrease the number of fruits from level manager. Sorry, level manager that number of fruit minus. Okay, and and also we must check if there are 0 fruits, then we want the level. So here check win condition. If level manager fruits is 0, then we'll code this letter win condition level. And also here where we take damage, where is it? Here, get hit, and health minus. Yes, we don't want to. You can check it in update every frame, but it's not efficient. We check if you have zero life when we get hit. Here, check if after we decrease it, it's zero. Then here we have lose level. We'll code this later. Let's see if the animation works. And also, where is it? The scenes here. We'll copy paste to make transitions from one level to another. We have an error here in level manager, unassigned. We forgot to assign the player prefab. Go to prefabs, drag the player here. Number foot, we need to set it manually, or maybe we could create code to make it automatic, but I don't think it's efficient. It's much simpler like this. Okay, forgot to position the spawn location. No, we forgot to assign it. To go to level manager and drag this here. Okay, we need. The problem is it's a vector tree. Must be a transform. And then here, instead of spawn location, we want the position. Transform means vector tree. It's a vector tree. You have x, y, and z axis, but transform means all of these properties: position, rotation, and scale. So drag the spawn here now, and I forgot to add an animation when the player spawns. We need a public game object, call it spawn effect, and then before the player it's spawned, we want to spawn. So let's comment this spawn player, and before that spawn effect. Let's copy paste. Instead of player, we want spawn effect. Copy paste. Spawn location. And now let's play the scene and see if these effects are deleted after they finish. We have another error. Let's see. Well, here that okay. We have the problem is forgot to assign the effect. Spawn effect here. And let's go to the player prefab. We need forgot to put the collect effect. Let's go to assets, collect effects. Okay. Sound will add later. See? Okay. So it's playable now. Okay, should collide with this as well. Can wall jump, I guess. Okay. Now we have two conditions: we win or we lose. and we want to I have a problem with the background script, because it's not very flexible. It moves diagonally. It increases both the x and y size of the background, and
Yep.
and we want to have three possibilities. We want to move it diagonally, vertically, or horizontally based on a variable from 0 to 2, let's say. So if it's 0, it's diagonally, if it's 1, it's horizontal, and if it's 2, it's vertical movement. So let's create a variable. Let's call it move type. Okay, here is the logic. If it's bigger than 100, okay, we'll let me search, because I don't know how to write this. The or operator, C#. I don't know how to write this. Where is it? Okay, this one. See, this is the or operator. And to write end is like this. And this is or operator. And we need this because since we are moving, if you're changing both, if you're changing only one axis, we need to check for if both are bigger than 100. So to do this, you add here or, right, and just copy this. If x is bigger than 100, we go to the starting size, and if not, depending of the move type, we increase both x and y, or only x or only y. So if move type is 0, then we move it on, we increase both axes. Else if move type is 1, this is just because it's more efficient than writing 3 separate scripts. Okay, so okay, let's say 1 is only horizontal, and then if it's 2, then okay, that's it, should work. Let's see which one it looks better. Let's go to background, set it 0, so it now moves diagonally. See, you could also change the diagonal direction if you wanted to.
Okay.
Let's try the other one. Background, move type 1. And I have plenty of background sprites. See, now it moves horizontally, but I think the best is vertical. See, so now the background script is flexible. What else? Let's see, check the notepad. We need to create a wing and the loose condition, and now I will teach you how to make transitions from one level to another. So first, let's in the original game you have to go to a certain object and activate it to to finish the level and go to the next. My question is, do you consider it's enough to pick the fruits, and when you pick the last fruit you get to the next level, or do you want to add an object to go to after you collected everything?
Are you asking me like
Yes, yes.
opinion? Oh, uh, get get another object to go proceed to the next step.
Okay, okay. I don't have it. I don't have a sprite for that, but we'll find one. Let's go to my favorite website for assets when it comes to 2D games. This one is the best, better than um, Unity Asset Store. Let's see if we find some objects for this. Maybe I have something here in decorations. Decorations, sprites, objects, candle. We could use this. Let's use this for now. Candle. Let's create it. Yeah, candle. Let's add a tag here. Okay. We need candle. We need a sprite renderer. We need an animator, and we need a box collider 2D. Let's find the animation first. So the first frame here, just to see the object. This one is must select pixel per unit. Also, the filter mode must be this one, and that's it. Maybe you want it a little bit bigger, just like this. And we want it on let's see what layer is the fruit. It's on the same layer, like this. And now we want it to be a trigger. We don't want physics. Now we need an animator. Excuse me, an animator controller. And we need the animation. Go to the folder, candle animation, drag drop everything. Okay. Now let's find the. For some reason, it's not, the flame is not visible. I think it's because of the background. So we'll find another background because this one does not work. Assets. Where is it? Pixel Adventure. And let's, so that we do not have to change this manually, let's go to the script and have an array of sprites. Public sprite sprite array, and we want sprite index. Now let's go to editor. We remove this background. Where is the background here? Okay, let's see first how many backgrounds we have. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 array of 6 size, and now we drag them one by one like this. Let's go back to the script, and when the level starts, we use the sprite at sprite index, like this sprite array, and then sprite index. So we don't have to do this manually every time. So if it's 0, it should be blue now when we start. See? And also the candle is visible now. Maybe it's a little bit too big. Let's make it slightly smaller. Now we have the win condition. Let's leave it here. Create platform for this. Go to tile map and start another platform. This this just for testing purposes. And now we need to create the lose and win condition. Let's go to our level manager, and if you do this, okay, let's go to player controller, and we want where it says on trigger enter to check for candle. Okay, so if collision compare tag it's candle, if it's candle, then we need to check if we meet the win condition, which means that if level manager number fruit is 0, we delete this from here because we created a new condition. If it's 0, then we win, and maybe we should add an animation. And if you win, okay, if you win, we want a couple of things. We want the player to stop moving. So first we stop. See here in update, we make this is alive, we make it false, so it doesn't enter this condition. So stop control is alive equal false. Then if the player is moving, it has a velocity, and we need to stop this. Make velocity 0. Is it body? That velocity is vector to 0, and in in the game I showed you last time, the platformer I made, and that we are making now. When you go near the win condition object. Above it, it shows the number of fruits left, if there are any. Do you want me to implement this?
Sorry, what's the are you talking about the hearts?
No, no, I'm talking about. Let me show you. Actually, in fact, let me show you the game. It's much easier. Okay. Don't know why it loads so slow. Okay. See? See these fruits left?
Oh, I don't think no.
You don't want it?
It's just a text box with a counter, right?
Excuse me, I didn't hear what.
It's just to display a public text box displaying the variable, right?
So I'm asking if you want me to implement this. Um,
Uh, n- no. If we're out of time, like no need to.
we can stay half an hour. I have half an hour if you still want.
Oh, sure.
Okay. This one is a little bit complicated. If you want to implement, I'll rather leave it for another time. So if you're not implementing this, then here if the fruit is 0, then it simply transition to the next level. So transition to next level. And we also want an effect for this. No, we don't want it for this. Okay. Let's. Where is the spawn effect? Okay, so first let's delete the player and also as an effect. So instantiate level. We have the effect in level manager, that spawn effect, but position transform. If you say transform that position, then it is referring to the object that has the script. Transform that position and standard rotation, and then let's change this to on effect, then delete. So actually let's first delete the player, but if you first delete the player and then respawn this, we have no way. This will be null because the object doesn't exist anymore, so we can do this like this. So we'll do it, we'll simply then disable sprite renderer. So sprite renderer, let's see if it's possible first. And yes, it's possible, so we disable this. Enabled is false, just to visually remove the player. The object will still exist. Then we spawn the effect on top of the player, and then transition to next level. Okay, let's go to level manager. Okay, let's remove the update. We don't need update. Public void, no, not public void, public enumerator, need a coroutine. Sure. Let's call it next level, or just next level. We also need a variable for the level number, public int level number. Okay, now I'll show you how to fade to another, fade to black and then back to the level. So we'll use UI canvas. We need the canvas first. The canvas is where you put all your this contains all the UI settings, and if you want to create an UI object, you need the canvas. Now the canvas can scale to any resolution. I simply, where it says UI scale, go to scale with screen size. In the reference resolution, I'll use my screen resolution. This one, don't ask me, I don't know what it is. And now we need where is it? UI, maybe just an image. No, panel. Need a panel. This one, see this sign here? It means it will scale with the screen size. It will stretch to the screen size. We also need, obviously, we want it black with the maximum. It starts with 0 opacity or alpha, but first we'll make it black because usually this one, the standard image used here, is not a perfect square. That's why I like to have a perfect square in my assets. So let's go to panel here, then add this square. Now it should be a perfect square. Let's call this fade to black. Okay, let's set the opacity to 0. We also do not want raycast target. It doesn't really has an importance in this game, but this means if it is checked, it means that it will block raycast from usually from selecting with mouse, with with the cursor. It will block. So what this means is you want, for example, to select this candle, it will not, you will not be able to select it. So I like to make this, to uncheck this at all times. Not at all times, but in this case. Okay, we have the sprite, the UI, and first we need to find the script here. I'll copy paste this because I don't know 100% how it works. Let's copy this. So first we need the UI. If you're using UI, you need to import the library at the beginning using Unity Engine UI, and we also, because we're switching scenes, we need Unity Engine scene management. So first we want to fade in. We want this. Let's select the time. Float. Oh, sorry. Float time, and let's say 2 seconds. Okay, now we need uh, 2 things we need. Also, what we should have two effects here. One, let's call this fade in, and we'll copy this and call this fade out, and this will happen at the start of the game. Let's make this visible. Below this, let's add text. Let's import it. You can use the text from Unity, but I like this one, TMP, much better. Okay, now I have a text. Let's display the level, but if you want to fade the text as well, we need to create a canvas group. Now see, let's make this bigger first. Where is it? And on this box, let's center it. Let's call this this will this one, just to position it. Let's say level 1. Select a nice font. Maybe this one. Center it. Let's go to position 0 here. Should be also on X 0 1 completely center. Okay, now see, now that we have the canvas group, we can see fade the black background and the text at the same time, and this should be 1 when the game starts. And let's call this level text. And if you do this when the okay, let's first create the transition to the next level. Oh, we need where is it? It's not here. We need to add it. Public. Let's call this image. Fade in. We also want public canvas group fade out. Let's uncheck this blocks requests just in case we need to. Also not interactable. See, this one is already okay. So if we transition to to the next level, we want first to fade in like this. Fade in that color equal to fade in so new vector new color, I believe, and we want to keep everything else, everything the same except the opacity. So A, sorry, R, G, D, and then we lerp the opacity like this. Mat F lerp. We start from if fade in, then we start from 0 to 1, and in the amount of time. Delete this, and then as I said, uh, this will not be completely black because this is smaller than 1, not equal to 1. So to do this, we take this, and here instead of lerp just 1. So we first fade in, and then we transition like this. Scene, so transition to level, scene dot manager, scene manager dot load scene, and we want to also have a variable for the maximum the last level. What is the number of the last level? So public int last level. So we need here an if. We also need uh, main menu scene, main menu scenes. To do this, okay, we need if level number is equal to last level. So if we are on the last level, then we scene manager load scene main menu. We'll create it shortly after we finish this. Else scene manager load scene, and the name of the next level is level plus we take the level of this number plus 1, so level number plus 1, put parentheses around it, okay, and then to string like this. So if you know, you can combine strings like this with plus in C#.
Yeah.
So you have levels, and then the next level number, and then we convert it to string. Okay. Now that we have the next level function, let's make the effect when the level starts. We call this a coroutine. I enumerator means coroutine. Fade out. Okay. We'll copy paste this, except the last part where we transition. Let's call it fade duration. This is fade duration, and here fade out. The same, just the last part we start from 1 to 0, and instead of changing color, we change the opacity of the canvas group like this. Fade out alpha. This is the canvas group fade out. Alpha is equal to this lerp from 1 to 0. This one we delete. and at the end we set the alpha to 1 because it's not exactly 1, it's very close to 1 but not exactly, sorry, to 0. It's very close to 0 but not exactly. And we want this to happen at the beginning. Let's go to our scene, change the exactly at alpha 1. Okay, at the start we want and let's create a function, because see here we have this we spawn the player, but if we start the coroutine, you will not see this effect. So we'll do this after we fade out, like this. We create a function called void spawn player, and we take this, put it in here, delete it from start. One second. And after the fade is done, we spawn player in here, spawn player, and now we simply start this function, this coroutine, at the start of the game. Coroutine. Let's go. So we have the next level function. We need to do two things, and we'll stop after that. We need to create a main menu and add the win condition to the player controller here. So if the number fruit is 0, we as I said, we stop the player, not delete, but visually remove the player. And at the end we want to transition to the next either to the main menu if it's the last level, or to the next level. So here we say start coroutine, level manager, or actually no, let's not do this. Let's go to level manager. Next level, let's create a function, start next level. In here, start coroutine next. Go back to player. So level manager, start next level. Okay. And then we also want to disable, I would like to disable the collision as well, just in case. Where is the player? In prefabs, where is prefabs? Where is it? Rigid body box collider 2D. Okay, so we go to the script. When we have the components, we also add how is it? box collider 2D collider, box collider 2D, box collider 2D, and we at the beginning of the when the player spawns, we get the component. Copy paste this. And after the if you enter the if you enter the win condition, we also want to stop the disable collider, box collider to d enabled equal false. Okay, let's go to the level manager. Okay, now we simply need to okay, one problem is this text here, the level. We need to add it to our level manager. Let's create sorry, we need to import this library called tmp tmpro and public tmp text level text, and at the beginning, before we could do it here too, text is equal to level plus level number to string. Okay, now let's where is the level manager? Now we added the text here in the level manager script, and it should work now. Let's check. No, it will not work because I forgot to add the fade out here and the fade in here in the script. Forgot to add this. Now this level is 1, and let's say the maximum level is 2. Let's go to our scene folder, copy paste this by Control D, copy it, rename this level 2. Let's go to level 2. Let's go to background. Let's just to differentiate these two, we'll select another background. Let's try this, and we also want to create a new scene, which will not copy. Scene, okay, call this main menu. Let's go to main menu. Now we could create a background here too, like this. Sprites square. Let's recreate the background. Call this background. We want the background script. Let's find the background sprites in our asset folder. Okay, sorry, not here, six here. Move type, I guess, to maybe keep the 0. I don't remember the speed. We need to go to our previous scene and check the background. Move type 1.5. Go back to our main menu. 1.5. Sorry, not here. 1.5. Now this should be tiled, and let's find the where is it? Background. Here. Okay, but I don't see it. Check for position. The position is not correct, that's why you don't see it. See, start like this. Okay, now I have a background. We need, for now I'll just add a start game button, and we'll, since we don't have much time left, we'll just add a button, then test if everything works, and we'll continue next time. Let's add a button. For some reason it's not in the correct position. Okay, let's make it a little bit bigger. Background black, text white. Call this start new game. Let's resize this in the scene. Okay, maybe not completely black, let's make it a little bit transparent. Text, select this font. Okay, now I have a button, and on buttons you see here on click you can add functions from a script. Let's first change the name to start game button. Let's create a main menu manager. Manager. A new script. Let's go to scripts. We want to have all scripts in one folder. Create it here. Let's call it menu manager. Add this to the oh, sorry, what? Let's add this here. Okay, edit script. We want just a simple. Okay, so we want to use Unity engine scene management, and we don't need this. We need just a public function, public void. Let's call it on start new game. Okay, and we want okay, we want can you stay half an hour?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because I want to,
are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it. I want to add a transition like the one between levels to this as well. It will take a little bit more time.
Oh yeah, sure.
So start new game. Okay, so then if we do this, we'll have a coroutine. Well, I'll just copy paste this from level manager. Fade in, want to fade in or fade out? Fade. Where is it? Want to fade in. Okay. Copy this. Okay, let's say public later start new game. Okay, fade duration, fade in. Okay, we need the fade first. Let's create a canvas. We have canvas UI panel. Call this fade in. Make it black. Need a perfect square here. White square. This one. We don't want raycast target. Zero opacity. Let's go here. Let's we also need Unity UI. Image fade in. So fade duration, fade in, and after that we want to transition to level scene, scene manager, load scene, level 1. And if you load scenes like this, you first need to add them to the build here in the editor. File, build settings, add open scenes, and the scene that is first in the list will be the scene that appears when you start the game. So let's go to level 2 and add that scene as well. Okay, let's make sure this is the maximum level. Go build settings, add scenes. Now we have all the scenes, and let's go back to main menu manager, add the fade here. And now one more thing, we want a bool just in case, just to not start this coroutine once it starts, so that you cannot, we add a bool to remember that we started this function, to not start it again by mistake. So public bool is starting. Let's see.
So, this coroutine not only handles the background but also the game scene.
Uh, can you repeat, please?
So this coroutine instantiates a scene in the background. That's why we don't want to delete it yet.
No. So let me explain. Um, you have a coroutine. So it's a process that happens over time. In this case, the fade will last 2 seconds here. So first we fade, and after the screen is completely black, we change the scene, and this change here happens since it's not a very the game is not very expensive on the hardware. This will happen almost instantly. The scene load, the loading of the scene will happen almost instantly. And I said we need a bool because we are pressing a button. We don't want to press it twice by mistake and start this twice. So once the coroutine starts, we save this in a bool to remember that the coroutine started. So we'll do, okay, so we need to make this false by default. Restarting is false. And we want this, we create another function, void public, because we need to add it to the button, public void. Let's call this new game, and this start new game. And here if is starting is equal is false. We start the coroutine new game, and when this coroutine starts, or even before it starts, we say here, we make this true. Is true. So you cannot start this function twice. That is why. Now we go to
Okay, nice.
our canvas, our button, start game button, and go to on click plus. We need to find the object with the script, which is main menu manager, and then we select the function main menu manager, and we select where is it? Start new game. Okay. Let's hope this works. Let's press start. See? And now after I collect all this, we should transition. Okay. See, it doesn't work. Let's pause, not close the game. Let's pause it. Go to level manager and see. Sorry, not level manager. Okay, level manager. So the fruit is 0, but for some reason we did not transition. Let's see. Get hit. No, where is it? Here. So if the fruit is 0, then okay, but something is not correct because I'm still moving, and if you look here in level manager, the number fruit is 0, so this is correct. It enters this. Let's check the tag candle. Okay, here candle. Okay, so I'm in trigger enter. This is a trigger. I don't know what the problem is. The collider did not create any collision shapes. Okay. Okay, the problem is the collider shape, I believe. Let's deactivate this, the background. Not the background, the canvas. We'll deactivate this. Go to the candle. Check the box collider. It is bugged for some reason. The collider was bugged. Unfortunately, we'll have to edit this in both scenes. Okay. Let's save this in prefabs, candle, and also the fruit here. Okay, let's go to scene 2, resources, scene, level 2, save, delete this, deactivate the canvas for a second to go to prefabs, add this here. Okay, let's activate the canvas again, go to scene level 1, the canvas here as well. Now let's try again. Press the button, transition to level 1. Now you see the player spawns after the transition, and now see, now we have a transition from one level to another. And now you should transition to main menu. See, it's done. Now it's playable. Any questions?
No.
Okay, next time we'll implement different enemies and traps. And
Yeah. Okay.
I guess after a certain
fun learning, I guess.
I was saying after a certain number of traps and enemies, I think most of you will get bored and we'll go to the next game, which will be to the bullet hell game, top down bullet
Oh,
hell game.
yeah, that would be fun.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for coming and having patience
yeah.
with me. I know
No, it's
I
fine.
know my
Thanks
English is not
for.
the greatest. I'm
No,
still
no, it's
learning.
good. It's good. It's
Okay.
really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks,
coming.
man.
See you next time.
Yeah. See you.
Bye. Uh, Next time is
Bye.
tomorrow, by the way. I'll be
Oh,
tomorrow.
I forgot.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
See you.
Thank you for reminding.
See you. Bye.
Wait, tomorrow? I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow your time.
Tomorrow the same hour.
Oh, okay.
Okay. See
All
you.
right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.